And he wants to crush Twitter. That's what, in essence, what he's trying to do. He couldn't buy Twitter because if he bought Twitter, the governments would all say, monopoly, you already own too many social sites. Because the smart move for Facebook to do is to buy Pinterest, to buy Twitter, and to buy all of them.
All right, so we are going to talk about how Threads is generating 8.3x more engagement than Twitter. So I'm going to let Neil take this one away.
So I've been traveling when Threads first came out, but
Threads, not Treads.
What did you say?
Threads, not Treads.
That's what I said, no?
You said Treads.
All right, I'll go with you. I was traveling when Threads first came out. And for the first few days, I wasn't on it. My team signed me up. Then over the weekend, I started using it, and it became a rabbit hole for me because anything that's new in marketing, I just get addicted and I spend a little bit too much time on. So I probably spent 3-4 hours easily over the weekend. And I wasn't just looking at my account because I started posting some of the same stuff I post on Twitter and LinkedIn on Threads to see the difference in engagement. And I was mainly comparing Twitter with Threads. And then I started looking at all these other people that are on Threads that are also on Twitter, which is the majority of the people. And I also started looking at the content that they're posting on Threads versus Twitter. And funny enough, a lot of people are posting the same type of content, not everyone. And I started comparing their follower ratios because most people don't have the same amount of followers on Threads that they do on Twitter. In most cases, they have more followers on Twitter. So when you take that and you also look at the engagement on similar amount of posts, and you have to use a formula, right? You have to end up looking at the engagement per follower count. And then you look at that engagement per follower count when they post the same type of content. Then you got to look at the timestamps and try to see, all right, are people posting at roughly the same amount of time, which is funny enough, very hard to do. So you got to start making some assumptions. And when you look at both of them, I ended up coming up with, I was running an Excel spreadsheet, and the difference was roughly 8.3 times more engagement on Threads than Twitter. And the common thread, the theme that we're seeing is people have less followers on Thread and they're getting more engagement, even though they have less followers, like in just a sheer total count, than they do on Twitter. And this is going to go on for a while. And the reason it's going to go on for a while, Eric, you already know the answer to this, but why is Threads giving everyone crazy engagement right now?
They want more usage.
Why do they want more usage?
They want to, if they want more usage, they want to get more, they want to slow Twitter down, right? They want the attention. So that's the name of the social game. Mark Zuckerberg has even said in the beginning, it's like, we just want to make this a really good product first, AKA we want to bring in as many users as possible and then lock them in for the ads and turn on the ads, right? It's the same playbook.
And he wants to crush Twitter. That's what, in essence, what he's trying to do. He couldn't buy Twitter because if he bought Twitter, the governments would all say, monopoly, you already own too many social sites. Because the smart move for Facebook to do is to buy Pinterest, to buy Twitter, and to buy all of them, assuming you can pick them up for cheap enough, because Facebook has more ad users, people who are advertising, and it would be easier for them to make more money from that traffic than it would be for Twitter.
Look, I'm looking at it right now, and I think, Neil, you're probably looking at it just from a like standpoint. So we don't know how many views each post is getting versus like a Twitter where Elon is actually showing the views, which I think is a really helpful metric because then it'll guide advertisers and it's being a little more transparent there. And so I think, look, at the end of the day, when a new social platform comes out, you want to maximize organic reach. Or even this, when a new ad feature, or I don't want to say ad platform, but like, for example, when Instagram launched stories ads, for example, that's when you start to get really low CPMs, really low CPCs because it's a brand new feature and they want to push it. Or like when LinkedIn Live first came out, LinkedIn was really pushing it, right? It's no different here. This is a brand new product. But at the end of the day, when something new comes out, they're going to push it and they're going to give a lot of organic reach, and that's going to taper off over time. And so that's why you see a lot of people right now, very influential people, they're spending a lot of time on Threads, right? Sometimes they're posting new stuff, sometimes they're just moving stuff over. But even the early days of Clubhouse, for example, everyone was using it and they're getting a lot of followers. I remember on Clubhouse, I was getting like 500 followers a day. So at a high point, it was like 1,000, and then it quickly tapered off in a couple months.
Exactly. I think it's really cool to be on any of these new social networks. They'll probably start releasing more data and stats. You'll also start getting way more followers and engagement once they start opening up to Europe and other countries and regions. But if you're not on Threads, you're making a big mistake. Go and you sign into your Instagram username and password.
Yeah, we'll talk about this in a little more in a couple episodes, but it's the actual thing right now is to use it, to try it, and to make the most of the organic reach, and try to understand, if you weren't a poster on Twitter before, just try to the more you post, the more you'll start to see what works for you. And then the more you'll be able to start to define who you actually want to be on Threads instead of just trying to be a me too like everyone else. Because for me, I find on Threads, because it's so new, that I'm able to just more so say what I want to say. And I don't feel as restrictive as I do on Twitter, because I'm a little more. Twitter, I have 30,000 ish followers or so. On Threads, I only have 4,500 right now. I feel like I'm a new baby there. Anything else, Neil?
That's it.
All right, that is it for today. Please don't forget to rate, review, subscribe to this pod. It helps us grow. Oh, by the way, we have the Beverly Hills event that's coming up August 7th to the 9th, and we're going to be closing that soon, but you can go apply there, levelingup.com/founders. Going to be great people hanging out. We're going to be talking about AI marketing. We are going to be talking about how one guy grew from 0 to 8 figures with 0 employees. We're going to be talking about cool M&A structures and a lot more other stuff. So that is it for today, and we'll see you tomorrow.